guys, I'm Prisha Agarwal, and today I'm in conversation with Cynthia Aside, multi-award-winning textile designer and creative director of the Adirelounge. Adirelounge is a hand-dyed textile company that creates unique designs on non-conventional fabrics like chiffon, t-shirts, scarves, and silk. They also train rural women, widows, vulnerable, and out-of-the-school youth in the Adire skill, thereby preserving culture and traditions, rich heritage, and the textile making skills of Nigeria, and also curbing unemployment and creating job opportunities for those women and youth. Cynthia is a social entrepreneur who has many awards like the Fashion Finest Indigenous Fabric Maker of the year 2018 under her belt. As a result of her work, she was recognized on the Ynaija Power List 2018 for fashion and style. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for coming on here. It's really an honor to have you.
Thank you, Prisha, for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. And please tell me, like specifically focused on the Adirelounge, how did you kind of get into that? How did you know that this was the vision that I wanted to be a part of?
Okay, so I always knew that I've always had the design skills in me, and I always knew that I didn't want to be a banker. I didn't want to continue staying at my white collar job. I knew I wanted something different. And thirdly, single mother, and I knew how girl I am my sins. And I knew that if she didn't have the skill or she didn't have her own a day job, if she didn't have something doing, it would really be very, very difficult to take care of us. And we're seeing that some women in rural areas who they don't know how to take care of themselves. They live less than $1 a day. They don't know where the next meal is going to come from. They're not able to send their children to school, take care of their children, pay for healthcare, and also feed and take care of their families.
Mm-hmm. So this was really serving a social cause, and it was helping a lot of people, which is beautiful.
Yes, all right.
Yeah. So let's move on to more of your designing skills. What do you think, what inspires you to create your best designs for you so far? And like, what's your creative process like?
Okay, what my creative process and what inspires me is my environment. So we've had designs where there's a popular transportation system in Lagos, Nigeria that is called the Downfall, is the yellow bus.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that bus, 3 years ago, the government said they wanted to take out the buses and bring in new kind of transportation system, and the drivers who drive those buses would now get into the system of driving the new kind of buses the government was going to bring in. So that particular bus was going to go extinct. And it just sort of like, oh, so that means nobody will ever know that the Downfall bus existed. So what I did was, oh, okay, before this bus goes into extinction, let's create a print out of it. And till date, that's one of our best-selling prints. We've had it in movies, we've had it in musical videos, we've had celebrities, we've had people buy that particular print. It's called the Downfall bus, where we created Downfall buses on a particular print and we started selling it. We have it on t-shirts, scarves, fabric. People use them to make shirts, use them to make different things. My creative process is just looking around what's going on and seeing, oh, that this particular thing that we've known, this particular culture, this particular object, this particular thing or design is going out of extinction. So instead of us forgetting it, let's quickly make it into a print. So people have it and sort of like a keepsake. So I think our fabrics are keepsakes, sort of like a keepsake. So people are able to see the fabric over again and say, oh, I love this fabric. Oh, this reminds me of home. This reminds me of my identity. This reminds me of where I'm coming from. I sort of, with wearing this fabric, it reminds me of something I'm missing that I would get back. So that sort of thing.
Wow.
So that's what inspires me, creative process.
Wow. So you have like a specific type of designs that you aim for. You want to bring memories back to people, which is, I think, the best type of thing. Like, it's more than a cloth. It really brings value to the cloth, right? So that's awesome. And also, as I mentioned in my intro a little bit, you are a licensed social entrepreneur. So I wanted to kind of know what career moves or decisions led you to this position, or like tell me something about your endeavors in this context and like how you're making an impact.
Okay, we partnered with so we started doing the social impact, going to rural areas, just train them and just give these women these skills. And so then we were not helping them with access to markets. What we just did was train them, ensure that they have the skills, and just sort of let them find their way with the skills. So we are going into this rural community in Lagos, and we had trained the women that day, and we had trained about 25 women on that day. And as we were leaving, the women kept on praying and asking, okay, do we keep the product sample we gave them, which was like a scarf? And we're like, yes. And we were like, oh, we really need to learn this. We really need to learn this. So we spoke with the community head and the community stakeholders, and they gave us a particular space, so like a landed property for lease for 5 years. So we built an empowerment center where we trained these women. So that particular sort of made me see that there was more I could do. These women really want to learn. They want to know how to do this, and they want to really earn an income. So the others, we just train them and leave them. We don't know what happens. Most of them don't even have the finances to start up a small scale business on their own. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't know what to do. They don't know the next step. Some of them don't even just want to start their own business. They really want to work. They've learned these skills, but they need somewhere to be able to show that, oh, I can really do this and earn an income. So with this partnership with this in this community, we were able to get an empowerment center, built an empowerment center where we train these women and employ them. It's ongoing now. The first cohort started in March before the lockdown, but we just resumed again last week. So it's ongoing now. The training is ongoing now. And the women are really doing awesome. One of my women even just gave birth during the lockdown. It was so amazing to see the baby. And yeah, it was so amazing to see the baby. And for me, it's just this joy and happiness that comes from saying that, oh, I really helped somebody. I really helped this woman. I really helped this woman take care of her family. I really helped this youth make a meaning out of their life.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Oh my God.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so this is something based off the current situation. So how has COVID impacted the hand dyeing textile company and your life specifically?
Okay. For the hand textile company, COVID we had a lockdown in Nigeria for like 2 months, especially in Lagos, where our factory and our company is based. During the period, I kept on from time to time. I kept in touch with my staff to just know, oh, how are they doing. But and that for that 2 months, we did not earn any income to anything, because apart from that, we could not even move. We had orders here and there, and as you can see, fashion industry worldwide, because what we also do is we create custom prints for fashion designers in the country and outside the country. So what another thing was, fashion stores were locked, people were not going out, nobody was wearing any clothes. So it was sort of just very dry and low period. But now what we did was, when we started empowerment center, we had to create the safety procedures, teach these women what to do, nose masks, provided a wash and space, provided sanitizers, masks, gloves, and also tell them, oh, keep safe, this is what you're supposed to do. And also with everything that happens, you just have to take a step back. You make plans, things will not always go in a certain way, and just know that, okay, I thought I'll go this way, but well, things happen. There's a pandemic. If we even survive this year, that's a major win. Every other thing will fall in place. Just take it one day at a time, a step at a time, and things will work out. Your goals, you can realign them, you can rework them. I was telling a friend recently, beginning of the year, my savings goal that I had, because I created like a vision board for 2020, my savings goal that I had was looking very bleak. But looking back today, I think I've started meeting it. How? Just take a step back. Fine, it might not be how you planned that it will be, but really, if you look back, you see that, oh, just taking a step back and reanalyzing everything, you'll be able to see that, oh, your goals, you could still meet them. It might not be might not be so buoyant, might not be so big the way you want it to be, but just taking a step back and taking it one step at a time, you can see that you will still meet those goals.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay. And so now everything's somewhat back to normal?
Yeah, somewhat back to normal. Everything is somewhat back to normal.
Good to hear. Awesome. Lastly, what advice do you have for the next generation of leaders?
Okay, what I'll advise them to do is be unique, be very creative, be different, and let your word be your bond. Um, don't say, oh, okay, I saw this design somewhere, I want to copy it. No, create your own unique, create your own style. And I think that's what has really helped us at Adirelounge. That people know that, oh, we create unique designs. We're not just creating designs for design's sake. We create unique designs. So I'll just be unique and be very persistent and consistent. Just show up, really. It takes a while. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Then show up every day. Show up every day and say, oh, this is my business. This is where I want to take it to. You might not get there in 1 year, you might get there in 2 years. But if you notice that when you show up every day, before you know, you will really get there. People would notice you. People would even consistency helps, because there are people who would say, oh, okay, let me see if they'll still be there, and they come back in 6 months and see that you are still there because you are showing up every day. You are being consistent. Be consistent. Love the work you do. Ensure that you also impact the next generation. So most of my people say, oh, I want you to mentor me. So on my Twitter and Instagram page, I put posts up. I might really not have time to say, oh, I want to do one-on-one mentoring. Then I also have a newsletter where I help people. I just fashion brands, people who own fashion brands and textile brands, on how to market, scale, and grow their businesses. I send tips. So you can do just that little thing you do in your own space. We go a long way. You never can tell who needs it. You never can tell who needs that particular idea or that tip you're going to give. Just show up and ensure that, oh, you're impacting the next generation. It might not be, there might be smaller people, there might be small children, there might be youth, there might be people in schools, but you never can tell. Just show up and impact the next generation of leaders. And also ensure that you have integrity. There's integrity. And like whatever thing you say you will do them. People are watching you. It's not just about your tiny little space. If you say you're a leader, people are watching what you do, what you say, and how you show up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you, Prisha, for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Bye. Bye.